Hey guys, welcome back to another Flesh and Blood video. This video is proudly brought to you by the House of Cards, the official sponsor of my stream. Be sure to check out the link in the description below for all of your Flesh and Blood needs. Hey guys, as you're all probably aware, Oldhim got all of his Living Legend points last weekend, which means after our TN season, we're going to be in an Oldhimless format. Looking forward to that, I think that Katsu has the potential to be one of the bigger, more outbreak aggro decks that we'll see play, so I've been testing it the last couple of days to see how I feel about it and try to learn the lines. In case Katsu is broken, I'll need to know how to play it because I've never really played it before. Last night, Alexander and I were playing Lexi versus Katsu, and he was playing Ice Lexi, and I was playing Katsu. And this game that I've picked out to show you guys, I feel like really highlights both the heroes. I feel like it highlights both the weaknesses and the advantages of both the heroes here. So I really wanted to pick it out so you guys could see it.
Okay, this is not right. Pitch. Need to pitch both of those.
So you pitch a card to activate Voltaire, do nothing, and then Arsenal.
And he figured out my plan.
Yeah, well, you know how it is.
Katsu had a bad matchup into Dash, by the way.
Do what?
Found that Katsu had a bad matchup into Dash.
Why?
Dash blocked really well, had really efficient equipment. And at the end of the game, the pistol is just way more efficient than you. Basically, Dash trades you down really, really consistently. And all of a sudden, you're both at 5, and they have pistol, and you have Dachis and 0 for force.
Yeah, I mean,
delete your once you're under 10, you lose life faster because of pistols.
I mean, that makes sense.
I don't want to do this.
Just feels like every time I played against Katsu and I'm playing Dash, I'm normally in a spot where where Katsu's putting me at must block range way before I ever am them.
Interesting.
Yeah, we just take 3.
Oh, that's wrong.
You have to activate Lexi, I think, before you can.
Yeah. Whoops. Didn't mean to undo the Lexi part of it. Would love to just Arsenal Rain Ragers, but I do need to do something.
No, it's fair.
Remorseless is quite relevant, so.
It is a very relevant card. I was playing Fi the other day. I think it was Monday, and I was playing it into a what was I playing that into? Oh, I was playing into Azalea, and my man went dominate Remorseless for 8, dominate Remorseless for 11, dominate Remorseless for 12 were his first 3 turns of the game. And I was like, my lord, man, I have a family. all of his cards just ended up being... Oh. All of his cards just ended up being like 1 for, 10s because of the on-hit effect of Remorseless.
Yeah. Holy crap. This is what I built the list to do. I'm calling your bluff. I don't have a 0 cost. Didn't it say cost 1 less or has no cost?
What'd you say?
Descendent Gustwave says cost 1 less, right?
Yeah.
Ha! Kinda like good. This turn would have been so terrifying if I didn't have CLF.
Yeah, this would have been like one of those 25-point turns.
Yeah. The reason I took all that is because I have one of those 25-point turns.
Yeah, I figured your hand was pretty solid. Yeah, arrows that say nothing don't get blocked.
Fair enough.
Did you mean to pass?
No.
You can just hit U. It'll undo it. I was like, I don't know how you learned to count to 25, brother, but I think you missed a couple somewhere.
I just accidentally hit the spacebar one too many times.
That does happen. That is definitely a thing that happens. Your turn was very good.
Woo!
How much was that?
25.
Was it 25? 6 and 6 is
6, 6, 7.
Yeah, that's a good turn, man. That's not too shabby, as they say.
Oh my gosh. We're about to see how lucky I am.
What is happening? I did not try to play that Soulbead Strike.
Take it.
What is going
I'll
on?
block it with Perch Grapplers. Get wrecked.
Yeah, I bet you will.
My turn. Aww.
What are you awing?
I have to block now.
I mean, you don't have to block.
No, oh.
Now that's interesting.
Matt McGinnising over here.
Yeah.
Shouldn't say that on stream.
I mean, I was like, you probably shouldn't say that while I'm live.
It's okay.
Listen, I'm not disagreeing with you, but
He won a lot of games.
he has won a lot of games.
See after the game whether throwing New Horizon was correct or whether I should have just thrown the card. It relies entirely based on what I draw.
Am I lagging again?
I had to reload.
Yeah, there it is.
That means you probably do too.
So you took 1, went to 19 there.
Did. Took the dodgy. Riders. If I blocked that, your turn would just be over. You're just breaking skills if I didn't overblock. So I'd have to block for 4. Lame.
Wait, where did I mess this up at? Okay, I'm an idiot. Hang on. I hit revert to the start of this turn. There we go. So I have to use cross trap at the start.
Double dodgy.
I realized my error.
Error in your ways.
So we throw this for 3.
Ooh.
Just like I did. And then
What did your mom?
lol. Blake, is that you? Choose to use Katsu's ability.
We be around.
Discard this. We go get Descendent Gustwave.
There's a really bad joke I could have made.
Well, let's keep it PC, please. You're
Okay.
live, sir.
I'm gonna text it to you because it's funny.
Oh, Lord.
You are far down the DMs on Discord.
I mean,
text you.
I was like, how often do we really talk on Discord if it's not in the team Discord?
Okay.
Bonds for 4 on hit mask, and I'm gonna go get a Dishonor.
Frick. Oh, I need that. Nah. I don't need that. Why didn't you just grab a Fluster Fist?
Because Dishonor's active.
Yeah, why didn't you just grab a Fluster Fist?
Because Fluster Fist is for 4, Dishonor's for 4, and it's active.
Exactly. But Fluster Fist is a red card.
Okay, but Dishonor's active. Like, why would I not take the exact same amount of damage and an on-hit effect? Even if it's not relevant. Like,
did you see my text, my message on Discord yet?
no. Give me just a second and I will pull it up. Oh, God. I'm glad you didn't say that out loud. Oh my gosh. So
Kodachi? You stop playing cards? This
dude,
is ridiculous.
This is what Katsu does, dude.
This is why we block Katsu.
I mean, yes, this is why you block Katsu. And then this is cool. Because you have to give me a card here. I guess you can also just give me Tunic. Actually, if you're just going to give me Tunic, I think I'd just keep this in Arsenal this.
Okay, we're going to see if it was all worth it.
Oh, into 3 of a kind? I was like, that's got to be your last card is 3 of a kind. I hope you draw 3 Ice Quakes.
Wait. It's not all hope is lost yet.
Oh, I'm 3-1. I never updated that. You beat me last game.
Ha! On hit Frostbite. Not my best work, I've got to be honest.
I'm going to be honest. It seems like not your best work. Block 6-7. You can't play any cards from your hand, so. And then
I think you should let it hit so I can play Channel Lake.
You can still play Channel Lake.
Oh, I can't.
Why? It has go again.
3 of a kind is active.
Oh, you want to reload that?
So I can play Channel Link.
Have you ever seen the show The Orville? No, I've never heard of that.
That was amazing.
Okay, Alexander has watched it. Why are you watching that, Kyle?
So imagine if Star Trek, instead of being Star Trek, was just a show filled with irony.
Star Trek filled with irony?
Yeah. So it's a spin-off Star Trek show, just a comedy.
Okay.
It has Seth MacFarlane.
It's on Hulu. I just started it. It's Seth MacFarlane's version of Star Trek. Kyle literally just said the exact same thing you said in the chat, which is hilarious.
Wait. Undo block. A better play.
I actually think I'm just supposed to do 7 here instead of 5. I think it just makes more sense. Carly says she likes that though. It's more Star Trek-y than Star Trek. That's interesting. Well,
fair enough.
Everybody here knows that the only Star Trek I've ever watched is the new ones. So
one from the one from South Park.
No, not quite that, but no, I'll just discard that. Bortus is Kyle's favorite.
Bortus is funny. Did he say that in the third person?
Who, Kyle?
Yeah.
No, he said
Bortus is Kyle's favorite.
No, he said Bortus is my favorite. I'm just like loosely translating everything as it happens here, so
that would have been funny. It'd be really funny if you lost this game because you won. It'd be really funny if you lost because Channel Lake. Cool. Wouldn't that be funny, Zach?
I mean, gosh. It would be funny.
Are you kidding me?
My hand's terrible, dude. Like,
might lose.
Yeah, there's like no way for me to even have.
Don't kill me.
I mean, what if I could?
He had ancestral breaking skills. Blue.
I did it to Silas earlier.
Flip my laptop.
Bortus is my favorite, but Isaac is Kyle's, so it's Allie. Bortus is Allie's favorite, apparently. I see. And Isaac is Kyle's. See, I know none of these people, so I feel
can't be your favorite. Isaac sucks. He's a terrible character.
Oh boy, we're gonna have Kyle in the Discord here in a minute. And he's gonna be arguing with us.
Favorite character is the slime. The slime that goes around the ship and just has sex with like everybody. Like no reason.
Just because?
It's just his thing. And he falls in love with a human.
What's wrong with that? I was like, what's wrong with that? People of interspecies can't mate, you weirdo. Carly said Isaac is a robot. Haha.
That's why it's not a good character.
Allie isn't here. It's Kyle just being weird.
Isaac also falls in love with the same character. Other character. The slime and the robot fall in love with the doctor chick.
All right.
Real thing.
Bortus is an alien that has a ceremony once a year to pee. Bro, what are y'all watching? I mean, it has Seth MacFarlane in it, so it's got to be like somewhat cool, but bro, y'all are wild out here. So is this just the same thing as last time? I think I just have to let this hit. You gave it go again, so you're going to bracers either way. Which means I just have to let you have this. It's really nerdy and really good. I thought they canceled it, but I think they started making new episodes again. They started making new episodes again? That's interesting. So I block mask.
Channel Lake is staying.
Channel Lake is staying, which means we're just blocking 6.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason for me to keep my cards here. I didn't ignore you. I can't read all the chat and focus on what's happening at the same time. God knows I'll never make it if I ever do become famous. Tell Alex to stop spoiling shit. Oh, and the aliens are gay. what a like. I feel like you like have to get that in there, but like what a weird plot line all at the same time.
My gosh, this is good.
Well, stop. I need to keep like 4 cards.
I don't have New Horizon. I'm Dishonored.
You heard what I said.
I'll get to... Boom.
So if you have 3 winners bites, I'm gonna be very upset.
Boom. I'll just play the yellow one next.
Literally, they are gay. It's a one gender species. Oh, that's funny. And yes, cards are very high action. Must pay attention. The girl who tries to kill John Wick in the first movie is like second in command. The lady that tries to kill... Oh, the lady in the hotel room? Like, oh, I think I know who you're talking about.
Also the worst character from Castle. Never watched Castle.
You just keep saying these things like, you know, like, I'm just going to be like, oh yeah, Castle.
I know what you watch.
And the gay alien is third in command. Oh, there's a lot of, like, this show sounds like a lot to unpack.
Actually, not that much. It's very simple. It's like 7 characters.
I mean, I'm sure the show's cool. So what, you Kodak's back.
It's just remorseless again. Damage. It's not staying, so if you get to play a 0-cost card. Okay. Oh my gosh, I can actually arsenal that. Frick.
Do you want to undo?
I should have arsenaled it.
Why?
Like, I only get...
Why should you?
channeling.
Oh, so you can play Channel 8 here?
Yeah. Now, I didn't draw ice cards, so I get, like, hard punished.
Carly said, Kyle, why are you so focused on the gay alien? Are you trying to tell us something?
Passing?
Oh, I think because if I attack for 2, you're forced to give me a card.
Don't know my arsenal, it's probably right to not attack.
Yeah, you're probably right, because I'm not thinking you're going to waste a card to play a card. So, what is this garbage? Kyle said, yes, I'm a gay alien. Now they're yelling at each other in caps.
That is one of the least surprising things he's ever said.
You straight, white, middle-aged women are so judgmental. Oh my gosh. Somehow, it's like extra... yeah, there's a lot happening right now. This is a lot to unpack.
There's a lot here. It's funny that we have an identical number of cards in our deck. We've been at card parity for a while now. And I pick one because they no blocks.
I mean, I do have to block here.
And you get a 2-card hand and arsenal at my 2 life, which means it might finally spell the end. If I could keep Channel Lake around this turn, I probably would have won.
So normally I would agree with you, but
hand just works.
My hand just works even through channel.
Yeah.
So while
you wouldn't be able to Kodachi me, so I don't know if your hand doesn't Kodachi me. Then
that's fair. The Kodachi is relevant. I mean, it is, but it's not.
Enough.
I always randomly forget the stream elements bot is working until it says if you're enjoying the stream, don't forget to follow. Yeah, so you give me that, and then you're going to give me 2 cards here.
That's right. I am going to give you 2 cards.
Yeah, because you have nothing else that blocks, which means I probably get to keep 2 cards here. Maybe 3, and if I get to keep 3 cards, I think I'll win. Unless your hand is just like Endless Arrow Lightning Press or something. I mean, if it's Lightning Press, I don't die, so that's cool. And then I think the Kodachis win me the game. You take 1. Boo. That lined up really well. Let's Arsenal that.
This is like best in case 3-card hand. And there's also Codex of Frailty. 3 of a kind. Oh, it's actually not because Lexi's stupid, but I have 1 3 of a kind left. And I have the Rangers that I pitched. So that's like 6 or 7 turns away.
So am I supposed to play that for value? Like, is it that bad? Or am I taking 2, discarding that? That's the same thing. I just have to... Oh, man, this has been a wild game.
It's been so awesome.
Like, you give me a card here, and then you get to throw 2 arrows at me, and honestly, I think you win because of it.
What on earth do I do here?
Ah, yes.
Is it a greedy play that like straight up seals the game? It works. But I have to do this play in case I win tempo. I don't do this play, I whiff the 3 of a kind, or I get stuck with the Frailty Trap and take your hand. I can't Arsenal the Frailty Trap. Like, if I take all 4 of your cards, I can't Arsenal Frailty Trap, because if you don't attack me, I don't have a turn.
Right, exactly.
I have to use it here.
So...
Can't keep it in my hand for 2
and I have
turns.
nothing else to do. So, I mean, your last 3 of a kind probably wins you the game here.
It just ensured I double arrowed, basically.
Did you reveal? It doesn't look like you did. So, hang on. I have to make this play because I was, yeah.
You have 2 of them?
I just have a bunch of 2 blocks.
Okay. And if you get to keep Dachis, then you get to take a card out of my hand. I get a 3-card hand at your 2 life. Leave you with a card. Then you get to take 2 cards, and then
I take
get
1
2-card hand at your 1 life.
I give you 1. I go to 1, give you Endless Arrow, and I get to keep 2 cards.
Oh, don't do that.
So don't have Lightning Press? So you take the first Kodachi, unless you just drew a Frailty Trap again. In which case you'll still only have a 2-card hand. The fun thing is that you can't Arsenal the Endless Arrow. So you have to play face up. So Dishonor was super relevant in this game.
Wouldn't have mattered because I blocked with New Horizon.
I mean, that's true. I guess New Horizon is the thing that makes that work. So now you get 1 arrow to throw at me, and let's end this arrow for 5, and we're gonna block 5. Yep, and then we're gonna get 3 cards out of your hand, unless you draw another Frailty Trap. But you've played what, 2 of them? I mean, you could be on 3, but 2 feels like the rational thing to be doing.
The last turn. So I misplayed.
Fab on Twitch. This is fantastic. Well, man, I appreciate you stopping by and hanging out. The President Hal? Interesting name. I like that. I appreciate you stopping by and hanging out, man.
I think I lost to a misplay.
Where do you think you misplayed at?
So back when I could have arsenaled the Endless Arrow when you had 2 cards left, I should have.
So you could throw Endless Arrow and still...
Basically what it means is I throw Endless Arrow last turn, you have to block with 2 cards, and I Arsenal Searing Shot, and then on this turn, you get to block with 3 cards, throw Searing Shot, and you get 2 cards again, so I stay alive. But now I just lose.
Okay.
Basically. Unless your next turn is probably pitch deck, so you might lose off of that, but I don't think you are.
I mean, my pitch deck's not been great. I've just been trying to survive here, so it's... Okay, just kidding. It's a lot better than I thought it was.
Nice. My pitch deck's a bunch of 2 blocks and no arrows and stuff, so like...
I mean, isn't that kind of like what this version of Lexi just has to do?
Basically. I have like a couple pitch deck hands, but this is not one of them. The first 4 cards I pitched were abysmal.
Yeah. The President How. So many people miss that. So yeah, the first time I read it, I was thinking like the President Chow or something like that. Like I was reading it weird, and then I was like, I feel like this is just like, I feel like I'm like just an idiot, and like this is the President Hal here. So this gets me 2 cards.
And I did.
And then I was like, Stab Wound wins the game right here.
Ah!
Blowout. That was one of the most back and forth games of Flesh and Blood we've played in a long time.
Yeah.
So some of my biggest reasons for wanting to pick this, to highlight this game, was that in the early game, you saw Alexander and I trade turns. Now, his turn was for 25 and mine was for like 14 or 15, so his was definitely a lot better. But when you look at the overall course of the game, I had a second turn that was very good. I ended up using my boots, and I pushed through a lot of damage, and we had Mask and we had Dishonor. Dishonor actually ended up being a pretty relevant part of the game too. Now it's less relevant because of his New Horizon was gone at that point in the game. But the Dishonor line was very good, and I think it set us up in a pretty good place. It was a grind fest after like those. So I had a big turn, he had a big turn, then I had a big turn, and after that it was a grind fest of blocking back and forth. So I just feel like this game really highlights the matchup, and I really feel like it shows how obnoxious the disruption can be from Lexi, because had he not had CLF on My first big turn, it would have been for like 20 to 25 points instead of like 14 or 15. So thankfully I was able to have 2 blues in the Art of War, so I could still pitch cards to play things. But my turn would have been pretty bonkers had he not had CLF. So I feel like those are the insights that really highlight both of the matchups there. If you guys see anything I missed, please put them in the comments below. I'm still learning Katsu, so I'm always happy to hear other opinions and see what you guys have to say. If you have any questions or anything, throw them in the comments also. And be sure to like and subscribe for more content. I'll see you guys next time. Take it easy, guys.